My name is Demilade Oluwashina and founder of Learnible. Over the past 2 days at LEXICON, it's been a pleasure to gather members of the ecosystem, different stakeholders who are concerned and who are working in the space of learning and the world of work. And we did this conference essentially to connect that ecosystem in order to be able to drive better collaboration and better outcomes when it comes to preparing young people and engaging young people in the world of work.
I think that LEXICON Africa is super important and also super inspirational and a model in a lot of ways actually for ecosystem building across education, policy, employers, industry, that I think is a conversation that needs to be happening in communities around the world. And so I do believe that these solutions don't exist in any one entity. Higher ed doesn't necessarily solely have the solution, industry doesn't solely have the solution, and that us getting together in the same room is where the magic can happen, and we can bring our various needs and perspectives to the table, and also design solutions that are contextualized for the communities that we're living in and that we're serving.
It's important that conversations about Africa happen on the African continent. Too often these conversations are happening in universities in Europe and the United States, and that excludes the most important voices in the conversation. So I'm really happy to see LEXICON leading this conversation here on the African continent.
Being at LEXICON today was a very insightful experience. We're very grateful for the opportunity to be part of these conversations that are very needed and timely, talking about the future of work, learning, and the skills that are needed.
I just had a conversation with LEXICON Africa, and I think that conversation was incredibly useful because it brought together different players within the employment ecosystem to talk about how do we make sure that young people are prepared for the future world of work.
So I really value what LEXICON is doing in terms of promoting these connections, this partnership, and building what is so really nicely referred to as an ecosystem, because that is what it's about. It's building the connection so that we are, over time, ecosystems are really should be sustainable.
In the next couple of weeks and months, we hope to stay in touch with many of these ecosystem stakeholders and to continue to connect them in conversations as well as practical actions or pilots of some of the intentions or the commitments that have been reached from this conference.
And of course it goes without saying that the public, rather the education system as a whole, will definitely need to adapt. I think there's a lot of work around curriculum development and things like that that need to happen. So yeah, I think it's going to take multi-stakeholder efforts.
I'm very happy and pledged to be in this conversation organized by LEXICON. For us as LRDB, this is a very important conversation.
I think the greatest thing that education does is helping an individual meet themselves. See, the main business of life is not working, it's living. Work just facilitates that. Education is transformative. It transforms an individual into knowing and achieving the best version of themselves.
I think that this LEXICON Africa conference was extremely necessary, mostly for me as an educator, for someone here in Rwanda working at a university space, to rub shoulders with other educators, to rub shoulders with other leaders from other universities in this space, and to be able to share ideas on how we are continually pushing ourselves to innovate in education.
The message that we will want to pass to members of the learning community, the wider learning community, whether it's academia or learning development in formal organizations or supporting organizations or upskilling organizations, the message would be to create more connections, right, with other partners and other players in the field, and to share more of the work that they're doing so that other people will be able to find opportunities to engage and collaborate with them.